Hello and welcome to the Nordic Takedown podcast. This is Fun Daddy, also known as Jason the Captain Kirk. I think that's only sticking because I'm the one that keeps bringing it up. I'm going to be honest. Anyway, I am here with episode 32. I'm here with I'm So Humble, Adam. Hey.
What's up?
What's up? Wow, it's not 99 anymore. And, 99, I think, when Jonah was born.
Almost,
exactly.
Starting off strong. Good to have you back, Jason.
So Jonah's here as well, fresh from Norway, fresh from his trip to Germany.
Yeah.
Which we were getting onto later. We were also jealous of you. I was jealous of you being in Germany because I wanted to be there in Germany. There isn't so many times that I want to be in Germany, but that was one time that I wanted to be in Germany.
I don't know how to interpret that, but sure.
Once a year when it's Essen.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm back. I'm back after a few weeks off. Basically, work, life, kids' birthdays, everything that's happened.
And people have gotten to see your handiwork behind the scenes, putting out the wrong episode.
Yes.
You've still been here.
It took 1 minute 30 seconds for someone to bring that up. I want to apologise for anyone for the 15 people that downloaded the episode 30 twice because I accidentally re-edited the wrong episode that I wasn't in, so I didn't even check if it was right or not.
But also, it's pretty cool that many did it so fast. I really like that.
It took like half an hour for me to get like a message to say, "Oh, by the way, something's wrong here. This is the wrong episode." I was thinking, right. So the fact is that even though I was 2 days late, woke up on Saturday morning, re-edited the wrong episode. I actually edited the actual episode in like 10 minutes when I realised while my wife was cooking the dinner and her family were waiting for me at the table. I was like, right, I've got to get this out and sort this. It happened all right in the end. It was a bit of a mess, but that's what happens. I was there in spirit, so
Yeah.
I mean, if people want a smoother release schedule, there is a Patreon there to give us the encouragement. So if you want a smoother release schedule, we do have a Patreon. If you want to give us that encouragement to say, I'm just leaving it out there. There we go. So you guys? I've been keeping up as much as I can with what you guys have been talking about in the last episodes, but in the last week since you guys have been on. How much Star Wars you've been playing? What have you been up to? You played a tournament. How many tournaments have you guys played? I haven't played any.
Since last week, one.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Since you were here, a lot of. But since last week, one. Shout out to Växjö store Nexus.
Oh, nice.
Because they have been trying to get store showdown kits and stuff since late in season 1, but set 1, but they haven't really gotten one, so they actually hosted their own tournament now, with a pack tournament basically as their prizes. So went down there this Saturday together with my friend Johan, that was also on the Skövde store showdown that I faced in round 5 there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We went down there. It was 12 people. Pretty nice store. They have a cafe in the store as well, so you can
I've been there a couple of times.
Oh, you've been there? Yeah, it's actually pretty cozy.
Very nice. I've actually bought one of my favorite Keyforge decks from there. Actually, just suddenly picked it up and it was a banger. Just bought one deck, it was a banger. So this is a good shop because they sell good random decks.
Yeah. So quickly, I just played Boba Green again. Because I had not much time to practice anything else in between. And
don't tell me you won again. Did you win again?
Yes.
Give someone else a chance, dude.
Yeah, man. You're gonna discourage all the Swedes. You're gonna stop playing. You're gonna just have to play solitaire over there.
I lost in Lund. Okay.
Yeah, you lost. Okay, yeah.
I got
third.
But yeah, first round, I faced a guy that came down from Kalmar. Pretty nice guy. I played with versus his friend in other tournaments. They are small. It's not that far from here, so they take the trips down. we basically attend the same events because we have the same range of events that we can go to.
Yeah.
So took him down in round 1. Then he played Han Blue, Jonah's favorite deck. And then I moved on to play a Tarkin Yellow. And then I moved on to play Ray Blue in round 3 to the guy who got second. He was also a local, Emil, his name. It was actually really close game 1. Like I didn't think it was gonna be a hard matchup, but it took me really close in game 1. I had to do some McClunky outplay to basically clear his whole board of 3 units. I think it was, because he had lethal on me with a nasty Poe. So managed to do that one game 1, and then I kind of stomped game 2. In game 4, I faced Yuan that I traveled here from Vanamu. So we went to the final table, even though he ended up 3rd after losing 2-0. He was playing Ray Blue, so it was like we brought the same decks basically as we did to Skövde.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was kind of just that I have figured out how to play that matchup a lot better. So it became, and he drew a little bit bad as well. So that became fairly easy 2-0. And so I won a couple of packs, and then they also had like a really nice kind of reward. Some guy had come in and like gave them some tokens, like initiative tokens and stuff for twin sons. Like I think he had done them for himself, like 3 tokens, like blaster token, initiative token, and the other thing I can't remember what it was. Yeah, probably.
Yep.
And there was like one with Sebulban and one with that, what's his name? I don't know. No, Cad Bane, and a third one. He's in the Jabba crew playing the drums or something. I should know his name.
The blue guy.
Yeah, the blue elephant-like guy.
Max or something.
Is it Waldo or what's it called?
No, it's like Meebo or something.
Waldo, no, that's the guy in the stripy red and white t-shirt that you had to find in a big people in a book.
Fair enough. It's not him. But so I got those 3 as well. Those were really cool. So I cannot play Twin Sons, but I'm actually gonna use those for like putting down like as a thing over when I put down my hand.
Yeah.
Or when you play Han Solo doing the resources and stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And like so that was my that's basically what I've been playing live style, and then it's been a lot of like practicing for the PQ, but we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah. Pre-Q prep,
nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Jonah?
He wasn't called Meebo, it's Max Rebo.
Max Rebo. So I was gonna say Max Waldo, but I was like, that's not right. So I just kept
that's
Waldo.
Close. You were close. That's pretty close.
Max Rebo.
That's I saw a super funny meme this week. It was like some guy parodying a Star Wars fan was like, "What's your favorite Star Wars character?" And then he was like, "Oh, isn't it Gazubal Dubadorp?" In this, like, all of these silly names, and like all of them were actually real.
Yeah,
it's like that's such a weird thing with Star Wars, is that you somehow know the names of these background characters. Yeah. Like, why do I have Salacious B. Crumb and Coleman Trevor in my head?
Who is Coleman Trevor?
It's the dinosaur Jedi from the episode 2, you know, in the pit.
But
the thing is, but now I don't.
But like, okay, but that one, I don't even know who that one is, John. I mean, that's going.
You just focus on the droids.
But
so
like,
that's,
for me, understanding that even Boba Fett was a big deal after when you're watching the original trilogy. He is like, you know, he turns up in a few scenes and he gets eaten by a plant.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's like the most legendary character.
Yeah, it's like
in the Star Wars universe. I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah, he's like has 3 lines in the trilogy, and one of them is "aw."
Yeah. and then he gets his own series where he comes back from the dead.
But guys, don't forget the holiday special.
I haven't even seen the holiday special. I feel like it's going to ruin the whole thing for me.
I don't know.
Anyway, Jonah, have you been playing any Star Wars Unlimited? Have you been? I think you've been. Actually, should we save your Star Wars Unlimited week until until last.
No,
actually,
no, I could do a little bit.
Because I want to talk about the Stall Showdown for a couple of weeks ago for myself, but then you've done something actually a lot more special in terms of how you've been doing Star Wars and involved in Star Wars Unlimited. Which we can then move on to one of our first segments, which we purposely haven't talked about what we're going to talk about this episode, because this is quite a big deal for us, and what you did. So I'm gonna cut you off here, and I'm gonna talk about my absolutely atrocious. Oh no, we're going to come on to Jonah, because Jonah has done something really special and really awesome in Germany. So it'll be a shame to go on talk about that and then have to come back and talk about me losing. Yeah. Unless you really want to, but no. I haven't done so much Star Wars play. I did not do so well in terms of results at the Store Showdown in Quibda. Yes, it was a couple of weeks ago. Adam, you've already talked about the fact you won it. Ooh. I mean, you're a good player. Boba is a good deck, and we respect that.
Thanks.
I decided to take Kira Red, my Kira Red deck, so a blue-red deck, which was my own brew. I got a little bit of help from different people. Victor gave me a few pointers as well, which were really good pointers. And I probably should have gone a little bit an extra step. But it was a deck which worked 80% of the way. As in, in most games, I got to like 27, 28 damage, or 22, 24 damage, and then I stalled, and I didn't have enough to push it through. So I went 1-4 during the day. I won the first game, and I thought, okay, this is going to be really good. So I won the first game against a Jabba yellow deck, which was very interesting. And the guy who piloted it, he was just like, he plays every day at work. He's one of the guys in Quivter that plays, I think it's in Palindrome, one of the gaming company. And there's like 7 or 8 people who come down to Quivter and play, and they play at lunchtime the whole time. So play against these guys, they play daily on a daily basis. I was like, okay, so he's been trying this out, and he did a couple of really good moves. He stole my Palpatine, and so I had to take him down with another Palpatine and a few things like that. But that game, the one game, took 50 minutes with that, and so I was like, absolutely exhausted. And it was the kind of thing, it was best of one, really, when you're playing Kira control. It kind of was the control with the setup I had, because I had so much blue against a disruption deck where he was just trying to stop me and steal something and kill me with it. So I won that one, but then I lost 4 in a row. And so a couple of people said to me, it's like, why aren't you running Vigilance? And I thought to myself, I looked at my deck and I was thinking, why am I not playing Vigilance? Because I go to big enough to actually play Vigilance. So it was a really, really big learning curve for me to build something of my own, tweak it, and then realize that it still wasn't good enough, but this is what I need to do to possibly make it better. And so I came back and I took out all the red cards and put in more blue cards, and I now have a blue Kira deck, just blue, straight off blue Kira deck, because the only reds I had there was a little bit of damage, a little bit of removal, and I realised that really I was playing a lot more blue anyway. I was actually playing out the blue stuff. The bombing run was useful a few times. People were shocked by the bombing run, because bombing run was my cheap man's my budget
barrage,
which was actually quite useful to come out to bring out Kira, do an extra 3 damage on her as well, and then she could hit for 7 if she doesn't get removed. So that was that kind of move, but it, like I say, it just didn't have the oomph to get past the meta decks out there and the big decks that were actually there. I think the non-meta decks, it did okay against those as well, but I was really pleased with myself to take something of my own, and it actually felt like I was owning the experience that I had there. It's gonna be interesting to see. I might take the Kira Blue tomorrow night because I get to play tomorrow night.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. The schedules have aligned, so I can play in real life again in the Quivda League.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of how it went for me. And then I had to run off and before it finished because it was delayed and I had to go to swim school. Being a parent and being heavily involved in a card game is tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Don't get kids. That's what you said, right?
I love my kids. Absolutely love my kids.
Cool. Clear that. Social services are...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I cannot wait until they are old enough to understand how to play the game.
Oh yeah.
Stefan, who plays locally as well, like his 9-year-old comes to the play sometimes, and he's got such a brutal Luke Green deck, and he is just brutal with that deck, and he's actually a very good player for a 9-year-old. So shout out to him. That was what I've been wanting to talk about for the last couple of weeks. However, now, Jonah, what did you do this week to
earn your place back on the pod?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not gonna stall anymore.
Come on. We want to hear about this.
The meat of it.
Yeah.
I've been to Essen.
Yeah.
Me and a friend flew down on Wednesday, and we had the 4-day ticket, so stayed there until Sunday evening. And on Thursday, if you're in the Discord, you already know, I actually got to attend the FFG press event, or kind of the Stars Unlimited event they had there, which was really cool. They had a lot of new announcements.
Yeah. Which we were invited to as well.
Yeah.
Which was the really, really cool thing as well.
Yeah,
so we are on the FFG radar. Yeah,
so that's really nice. We are finally getting out there, and it was really cool being invited, having some contacts at Asmodee and FFG. We're looking a lot forward to where that's gonna go in the future. And just being like close to Jim Cartwright and all of the developers and Xander,
did you lick his tattoos? I'm joking. No,
what is in your head?
that was not an expectation, Jonah. It's absolutely fine. I'm not upset that you did it.
Yeah, but it was super cool seeing like the live crowd reaction to Jar Jar Binks being spoiled. Was pretty fun.
Yes. Jar Jar finally.
Yeah, I was so happy to see that.
It could have been a little bit more OP, but still cool.
No, I mean, no, he was good. He was good. I think he's strong enough. He's gonna strengthen my Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. So, in case you haven't seen, they also announced a new product for set 4, which is going to be collector's boosters, or they call it Carbonite Edition, so basically a more premium product for collectors. And GameGenic also announced a couple of new mats and a Twin Suns mat, so that means not a double but a quadruple playmat.
Yeah,
looks really cool, and it has like a special finish, so look forward to that if you're into Twin Suns. And that's going to be a segue for...
Yeah, I still need to try it. I still need to try that out.
But
but go ahead. So
I'm just going to round off
this first. Carbonite edition. I'm interested in this Carbonite. Did they give any information about that at all? With how it's going to be more collectible and...
I don't remember if they said how many boosters there were in a box, but there's going to be less boosters, I think, but more fancy cards in them. So I don't know if they're going to add new treatments or if they're just going to use the hyperspace and foils as we've seen today. Maybe have higher showcase odds, but it's a bit controversial. Some people like it, some people don't.
I've heard it's controversial, but I haven't actually seen any negative comments. People are just saying it's controversial, but
Yeah.
other people have been like saying, actually, this is really cool, because as long as there's no exclusive cards in them.
Yeah, I don't know what I think of it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend money on it probably. But
Yeah, I'm kind of down negative on it. Like, if they want to add more exclusive stuff, just make them even rare in the normal boxes we already have. Like, don't give me another box to buy.
But isn't that the same as like, well, if you want to pimp out your deck with hyperfoils, then you will go chasing those hyperfoils anyway. Like if you want to go for something a bit more collectible to have the nicer things to do that. I mean, that's just where I'm coming from. I mean, I was coming from a point where in like I was a bit upset with Keyforge, and I do keep going back to Keyforge because that was my first main big game. But when there was a exclusive set which you could only buy, you can only get if you went to a big tournament, and over in Europe we didn't have any access to that. Because it was a product that we didn't have access to. As long as people have access to it, you can choose what you spend your money on.
Yeah, and to be honest, like so far, what FFG has done with this game has been great, right? So I'm just gonna hope that this product also is gonna be good, and we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
But overall, the event was super nice. Got to chat a bit with Jim, got a signature on the playmat, so it's really happy to be there. And overall, Essen is of course amazing. Had a great time. Played a lot of board games. I did try Altered.
Nice.
So,
what did you think?
Yeah, I could give my 2 cents. I think it's very easy to compare it to Star Wars Unlimited, and my thoughts on it is going to be from like as a Star Wars player. I think it felt a bit like underwhelming. I spoke to a friend about it also today, that you're just comparing, okay, I have a bigger number, okay, I move forward. It didn't feel as kind of interactive with my opponent, really. We're just both playing something, I have the bigger number, I go forward. And I think maybe the QR code was what I thought was most interesting to hear about, but...
Yeah, I got a couple of starter decks for it, and it is quite interesting that every single individual card has its own QR code. Not the fact that like you can have 2 of exactly the same card, but they have different QR codes, which means every single physical copy of every single card has its own individual QR code. So your collection and digital collection, it's just like that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah,
I didn't completely understand how it would work with ordering more cards and so forth, but it's interesting, and I think it's nice to introduce more players to card games, so that was cool. And on the topic of Twin Suns, I played Twin Suns today for the first time.
How'd it go?
With the proper rules. It was actually a great time. We all were just like chilling, having a laugh, just really having a casual, nice experience. I think it could have been even better if we played with 4, because in the first game we were 5, and in the second game we were 3. So it's supposed to be played with 4, but we...
How'd you play with 5? Like, I guess that could still work.
Same rules.
Same rules, group game,
You go clockwise order, you have the 3 tokens to claim when you can't do any other actions.
So was this your local play events that did Twin Suns?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
cool. So did you prepare a deck to go and play?
I had already a Twin Suns deck prepared that I brought to Essen. Didn't get to play it, but that's why I was like popped in the Discord and was like, anybody want to play Twin Suns this week? And people work for it, so
cool.
That was nice.
Nice.
So I do think we should maybe try to play a game together sometime, so we can talk a bit more about the format on the pod. Especially with more sets releasing, and after set 4 they're going to change the official rules to be 80 card deck. Right?
Of course it's 50 now, isn't it? I keep forgetting that it's still 50 cards in that, because I could probably still put 60, is it 80 they said they're going to?
Yes, after set 4. Yeah.
You could probably still put an 80 card deck together with 2
Yeah,
sets.
it's definitely possible, but
Yeah.
maybe more cards that you don't really want to draw. I don't know. I think it's fine since it's casual, right? But
Yeah, like, so you said it was fun at least, so that's cool. How was it on 3? Because I am most interested in how it is on 3, because like when you're 4 players, there are so many good board games you can play. And there is like, even you can play Star Wars Unlimited like 1 versus 1, like you're 4 people. But like there are actually a lot less good board games when it comes to 3 player, like a lot less in my opinion. They are less good balanced. Like there are some that are really good at it, but like compared to how many board games are good with 4, 5, 6.
Dune Imperium, great with 3 players. Carry on.
So I'm kind of interested in how like Twin Suns works on like your experience on 3, because when I heard it coming, I was like, if that is like designed for 3 players, that's amazing. That was like my feeling.
I think it probably plays a bit better with 4. My reasoning is when you're 3, you will have some player with the most damage on their base. So you and the other player will try to see, okay, am I able to completely like kill them, or am I able to be the one that puts enough damage so they're knocked out of the game, because then I will heal 5, right? So the game condition is somebody's base is destroyed, and that's the final round. But crucially, the one that does the last damage heals 5. So when you're sitting there, it's kind of a game of chicken, right, with your opponent. If I attack now, my opponent can finish them off, or if they attack, I can finish them off.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt like it could be a good balance, because you don't just hammer one player because one of you lose. So you just have to start punching the other one, right?
It is. The thing with that, though, when you're 3, it becomes a very clear dynamic, and I think you can drag out the game more. So you will kind of keep all of you in check, and it will go on for a longer time than it kind of needs to. That's also something I found really cool with the format, is games don't have to be that long. Because deploying 2 leaders is actually super swingy, and like when you're on 6, I played Ray and Cassian. Just being able to hit for 7 is pretty big.
It's pretty big.
So I think with 4, you have a little bit more chaos. You can't really control everything as much. But I think it plays well with 3. But I would probably enjoy it even more with 4.
Cool.
Yeah. I think putting together a Twin Suns deck, like, I wouldn't know where to start. I think that's the difficult thing, knowing where to start. But also, if I'm going to play casually, I feel like I need to introduce people into it. I feel like I need to build 4 Twin Suns decks so that people can just pick up a deck and play, if they're not into doing it themselves.
The nice thing with Twin Suns is you're limited to 1 copy, so you're basically forced to play a lot of cards you don't usually play. Yeah. And
so similar
since
to
it's
each
a
other,
casual
but
format, you don't have to focus on making the deck the best as possible. You can play more fun cards, play cards that maybe affect multiple opponents, let opponents choose stuff, have more politicking tools. For instance, when Yoda gets defeated, you can say, okay, Adam, I'll let you draw a card if you take out Jason's Sentinel, right?
Yeah. But you can't actually. But then he can also go back on that, so you can make him draw a card, and then he can destroy you instead as well. There isn't like a rule to say he has to stick to that.
But
but then you can just destroy him if he doesn't.
Yeah, the multiplayer thing kind of lets you have these interactions, and some cards will enable that more.
Nice. Star Wars Unlimited cross with Twilight Imperium. Now that's a game that we need to see. But they're both FFG games, so you know it could happen. Yeah, it's definitely something we need to explore. I think maybe get some webcam games going when you get your new webcam, Jonah.
Yeah.
We can arrange that.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Nice. Cool. Well, great job representing us in Essen. Getting that invite was a huge thing for us. Which was really great. It's one of the things that came out of our efforts in Malmö as well. So that's really cool. So hopefully there's going to be some more things to come there.
Moving on, it is only a couple of days till PQ.
For us, yeah, there was already PQs last week, but yeah.
There was, yeah. But the PQ Copenhagen we're talking about.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yes.
Cool. I'm jealous. My wife is working all weekend. It wasn't even a conversation.
Yeah, like I feel a little bit bad to my partner in crime back in Trondheim on the master's thesis. I have to study soon. I can't just postpone all of this with Star Wars.
Yeah, you can. I mean, what?
Yeah, but it's gonna be super cool.
How's your preparations going?
They have been a bit lackluster because I've been doing so much other stuff, but it has been great having Adam to, of course, scrim with and talk about the meta shaping and seeing, like, in general results. It's kind of clear how or what decks have been performing. So I would say right now there's a list of decks you need to respect.
I'd say like there's the big five, right? Boba
Which
Green,
would
Boba
be
Yellow.
which would be the big five?
Boba Green, Boba Yellow, Kira, either is yellow or green. It doesn't really matter, like 30. And then it's Ham Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Sabine.
And Sabine is yellow. Yeah, I thought there was
Bosk,
one left.
Bosk isn't Bosk blue involved in that as well? Because that's a deck that's coming.
Yeah.
Bosk
I think those are the big
something.
five to expect.
Yeah,
But Bosk Blue is like still a powerhouse to be reckoned with, but it hasn't really performed at the PQs yet. But most of the PQs has been Americans, right? And Americans tend to not play the heavy control as much. So I think the Europeans needs to actually practice against it, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot more control and mid range, I think, over this side.
But yeah, we did see a lot of Sabine at Malmö, so
yeah,
I don't think she will disappear by any means.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, it was very interesting listening to what Victor was saying last week with the balance of control going into, people bring aggro because you need to deal with that, and go up against that and mix things up a little bit as well. Do you want to go to a tournament and just be in these really big controlling matchups where you're going to be playing all day? That was a really, really good point.
Yeah, it's up to 10 games.
Yeah.
If you want to play the final, 10 best of threes.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to
but
that.
I'm not going to obviously. The PQ is obviously a really important thing. You are both taking it very seriously, so I'm not going to kind of ask you what you are taking, so you don't need to kind of do that. But are you locked into your choices now of what you're going to take?
I would say I'm 90%.
90% there.
Yeah, we haven't done kind of the final testing to really say for sure, and there could be things in testing that makes you want to switch, right? If it comes up, but it's been good so far, even though it's not completely there.
And there are kind of pros and cons to. At least I consider myself a player not playing one leader. I'm playing everything I think is cool and think is good. Mm-hmm. So the pro is I can play different stuff, but the negative is it's very hard to decide. And it's like, okay, I'm not a Sabine player. I just play Sabine. That's my thing. I need to focus on Sabine for the specific matchups, but it's more like I'm trying to consider what even leader to bring. But the good thing then is I would say I am able to switch last minute because I have. You've been playing everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But have you? I'm not going to argue. Obviously, Pete, the PQ is obviously a really important thing. You are both taking it very seriously. So I'm not going to kind of ask you what you are taking, so you don't need to kind of do that. But
So pros and cons.
But yeah, we are working, like we could say, like we were still working on a list to bring together, most likely. But we'll see if it ends up being that way in the end. Like we did bring different to Malmö, but even though we practiced for that quite a lot.
We talked about it in a previous video that it kind of is somewhat of a relief to bring the same list, because then you don't have to have in the back of your mind, okay, I'm bringing this, my friend is bringing this, and I know I have an unfavorable matchup into them.
So I need to boost it, like something like.
If you bring the same, you bring the same. The mirror is a mirror.
Okay, so you're both thinking about bringing the same deck.
Yeah. I would
As an option. I'm not saying you, but I don't want to kind of give everything away for people to kind of prepare to go against you, because like Adam, you're in a really good place now, going from 5 tournament wins.
4 out of 5. 4
out of 5 tournament wins. Okay, 4 out of 5 tournament wins, kind of going in there. So you're kind of in a very good place in this Shadows of the Galaxy.
It's been
meta,
good. Of course, it's quite different. I don't know how many who has signed up, but if it is a full 80-person tournament, like it's basically Malmö style again.
Yeah,
and that's quite different from winning. No critique to 12 or 22 player tournaments, but it's like
it's very different.
It's very different, and like but it's also only been Swiss rounds, and like that I managed to go 4 and 5-0 in those, or 3-1 is like that is good, like indications for me having a good chance making it to the top cut at least, like but we'll see. It's only 8 people.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And actually, talking of tournaments, it reminds me of I have a little bit of an announcement to make. I believe this is new to you guys as well. At the FFG event in Essen, I was a bit early, so I sat down at the table with the 2 guys from Switzerland, and I didn't know them. It was completely random, and we chatted. They had a store. We got to know each other a bit, and then I realized this guy who introduced himself as Tease, he was like, "Do you play online?" And like, "Okay, yeah. Are you Jonah Niklas?" And we knew each other actually from online.
No way, no.
So this guy, they own a store called Two Moons, and he's Two Moon Tease online. So we chatted. And,
nice.
They're actually gonna have a tournament in 2 weeks, and Thork is gonna cast it, and I've been invited to join as a co-caster. So
very
nice.
Have
some Nordic takedown representation there, and
I was first thinking you were being invited to come and play, and I was like, dude, you just said you didn't want to try.
I'm not going to Switzerland, guys. I'm not going to Switzerland. I'm gonna stay in Trondheim and just do it online. But
nice. So if you want to go to Switzerland, they have a tournament going there as well. Otherwise, if you're not, tune in to
the live stream is going to be on Thork's Hot Takes YouTube channel. But I'm talking to Tease about some other content we maybe could use for our channel.
Brilliant. That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing.
So that was like super random and very
fun.
No,
that's absolutely
super
fantastic
cool.
though as well, because these tournaments are happening everywhere, and the more we can cover them and cast them and stuff like that, it's the better and get out there.
Yeah.
Great, cool. Well, that's the PQ. It's difficult to kind of talk about that, because I think that a lot of what you guys have all been talking about the last few weeks has been very focused on the current tournament meta and going into that as well. So I don't think we can cover that anymore without repeating the last few episodes. So what we could do, I'm very excited by some of the spoilers that have come out, especially we're recording on a Tuesday. During my dinner with my family today, I got a notification up and another spoiler was up there, and it was Yoda. And I was, first of all, really pleased, because I'm almost sure that I called that he would be a Vigilance heroic leader. And I was super excited about that. I'm thinking, wow, okay, we haven't spoken about this for spoilers and stuff for a few weeks. And yes, we're gonna have time, after PQ season and everything is gone to go into the spoilers, but let's have some bit of fun and look at the leaders at least that have been released. Maybe pick one each.
Yeah.
And do that. So we've already talked about there were 5 leaders, I think, weren't there, at one point, where we talked about Ahsoka, Grievous, Obi-Wan, Maul, and Padme.
Yeah.
Since then, we have had another 8. Count Dooku, Mace Windu, Jango Fett, Captain Rex, Nate Gunray, Quinlan Voss, Wat Tambor, and Yoda. So yeah, how do we? Let's just all pick one, and then we can say, okay, is this good? Is this bad? I mean, let's pick a good one, and then we can discuss why is it good, and what are the potential reasons that we have for this being good.
Can I start?
Please do. I was just going to say, Jonah, you can start.
I am a bit torn in my pick, actually, because I found all of the new exploit cards to be really, really interesting, and there are now 3 villain leaders that kind of play around those: Count Dooku, Nute Gunray, and Wat Tambor. So I can maybe focus on Count Dooku because he's the coolest character. So Count Dooku is command villainy. I can exhaust the leader side to play a separatist card from your hand. It gains exploit 1. So here is actually something I should have checked before recording, and is do you guys know if exploit
Jonah, don't worry,
stack?
there are many things that we say that we should have checked before recording and we don't, so you're good.
Because my question is if exploit can stack. Do you guys know? Let's say a card has exploit 2 and you use Dooku's ability, giving it exploit 1.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it can stack just like Raid.
Okay.
I'm quite...
Because it's something that it gains. So,
okay, so...
Yeah.
While you guys talk about yours, I can check it. But for now, we can go through the unit side. It's a 7 cost deploy, a 5/9 with Overwhelm, and then on attack, the next separatist card you play this phase gains exploit 3. So basically, Count Dooku enables cards that don't even have exploit to gain exploit. I think Dooku can be good for that exact purpose, and Nute Gunray being able to create droid tokens is probably better if you just want to play a lot of good exploit cards in your deck and you need stuff to actually exploit. So Dooku is probably more if you can find some really good combos to pull off early using that exploit 1 that he can give with the leader side.
Yeah, exactly. Like good separatist cards that don't have exploit, right? Because then you don't pay for the exploit thing on the card.
Exactly.
So
what I'm thinking right now is, for instance, Kraken. It's a separatist droid that costs 5. So if you play it with exploit 1, you can play it on turn 2 just for 3 resources. And it has a when played ability where you get to create 2 battle droids. So basically enabling you to exploit even more the next turns. So I think Dooku can be cool, maybe even in a double green deck. Go for a bit more like rampy style.
A little bit like Palp, like a Palpy version. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Or in the popular like blue-green control-y lists we've seen with Krennic, Kira, and so forth.
Yeah.
So right now, what I think exploit is like really hinging on is if we have enough great units to actually exploit.
Yeah. Or can you get enough tokens out early?
Yeah.
In order to take advantage of the exploit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like units to sacrifice.
Yeah.
I feel like exploit is going to be either very, very strong or really, really underwhelming. A little bit like capture. Like it's not very good. But like I don't think there is like this middle way, like where it's like just okay, right? It's just gonna be a little bit too weak or very strong, and people are going to be all over it, I think.
I think exploit I would give it an edge over capturing because it's not as easy to play around. You basically have to just kill all of your opponent's units to stop that. But we've gotten 2 new really great 2-drops that both have a when defeated effect, create a battle droid token.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a 2-drop that basically guarantees you the ability to exploit on turn 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a really, really strong combo. Do that if you can get that. I think that's great.
So yeah, looking forward to building maybe a Dooku or a Newt Gunray exploit deck.
Yeah. And I'm wondering. You talk about the point of, can you stack exploits? I think if the rule says yes, you can. I think it'd be very difficult to stack it, because how many more units are there that say the next card you play gains exploit 3? Because it's the next card you're playing. Now, if other stuff say the next card you play, well, yeah, that you could possibly stack it, but how often are you going to be able to do that? How viable is it that you can have something with exploit 5 or exploit 6 if something does that? If you can, that's going to be crazy. But then obviously you have to take. Is it 2 for every creature? So if it's
2 cheaper for everyone you kill, I think.
For everyone you kill. So you need to if you have exploit 4, 5, or 6, that's 4 creatures that you need to do to drop a walker on turn 3.
I tried googling it, and from a very credible source called Facebook, someone wrote that all of the abilities with numeric values do in fact stack. Woo. So like restore and raid and so forth.
Yeah.
So that means we could have some massive exploits here.
Great.
So cool. Kill those droids on your pre-releases.
Yeah. Well, they're quite easy. If we remember the films, they're quite easy to kill. So
you just cut through them like butter.
Yeah. Just bring Jar Jar in, and they just die. How he survived, I have no idea.
He's a Sith. We all know it.
He is a Sith. He should have been a Sith. Awesome.
Okay. Jason, cool. What's your pick?
Can we talk about Yoda? I love this.
Yeah,
this is great. The thing I like about this as well is that the leader side and the unit side are completely different as well. Because some of them it's basically the same thing, like Han 2, etc., etc. But this is on the leader side. He has action. If a unit left play this phase, draw a card, then put a card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck. So you get to cycle through your deck, which is great because if there's something late, and if you're doing this a lot, then you can hopefully push that card back up the deck. And if you're in those long games, you're gonna keep the high cost cards till later. So that's really, really nice, just to get that draw, shape your hand, get the cards that you really, really need. He comes out on a 7, so it is quite late, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because of the effect is really good every turn. So when he comes out, he's a 4/9. Restore 2. When deployed, you may discard a card from your deck. If you do defeat an enemy non-leader unit, the cost the same as or less than the discarded card. So another quick rules question there. When it says discard a card from your deck, does that mean just the top card?
The top card.
Yeah, that is just the top card. Okay.
Yes.
So if you hit right, and obviously if you do the action, obviously you can stack the deck. Put a card from your hand on the top of your deck, flip the leader, and then you have a swing. You can get rid of that Vader, whatever it is, the Maul or the Walker or whatever it is that is there, and
this looks super powerful.
Which is really, really powerful. And a 7 drop that's powerful. A 7 epic action, a 7 deploy, 7 cost deploy. I don't even know how to talk anymore. So that's really cool. I love it.
So I'm the only one who's a little bit down on him.
Yeah, you are. I'm going to mute.
Mega hyped.
I think, like, unless you can super control that the card you flip is a really high cost card, like when you discard to kill something, I think he is not impactful enough when he enters the board because he enters so late, right? He enters really late. It's basically Chewie, right? And Chewie has a bigger body, let's say. Than Yoda. So Yoda needs to, of course, they
have the same. It's still a 9. I mean, Chewie's a 2/9. He's a 4/9.
Yeah, but grit is like, and you need Sentinel.
Right? Grit and Sentinel is
you can kind of ignore Yoda if you want to. Like, you can't ignore Chewie.
But if you're not mega far behind, you can't ignore a restore to 4/9.
No, but I would say, like, most Chewie players would say you are mega far behind when you are playing a hero on turn 7. And, like, I hope he's really strong. And I hope the cycling thing, right? If you play him and you can play R2, like, you can really just maximize your best cards. And, like, it's also kind of rough, like, because when you turn on 7, like, they have played a 7-drop, right? So you kind of want to kill that 7-drop on the flip, probably. Like, then you have to kind of discard your Luke or Chewie or something like that. So I hope he's strong because it's really strong that you can, like, kill something when it comes out. That is a strong ability, but, like, it will come down to if you can, like, basically guarantee it, right? So he doesn't whiff it, because then he's kind of useless.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to play him as a very late game oriented deck.
Yeah. Kind of control, right? Like hero control or something. Yeah.
Almost like Han Blue, where you just have a huge amount of late game units.
Yeah.
So you can very consistently defeat your enemy's best unit when you deploy. You need that swing. But I'm just, like, maybe even more excited about the filtering, because it's essentially scrying, being able to remove your top card, and that's so valuable. And you can even combo it, like, you can use Quill or C3PO to get a draw, because you can know the cost of the card for C3PO or know the color for Quill. And you can utilize the help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
You're my own hope, yeah.
So you basically get a confirmed discount with your my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan. I needed to do the full quote in my head in order to remember that name.
That should have been the name of that card. Sorry.
Yeah. Should have been that.
But they're maybe even going to print more synergy with the top of your deck, right?
Yeah.
And there's not that many cards that discard the top of your deck.
No, that's basically Greedo.
And it doesn't cost anything, so you can do it each turn. Like,
as long as something leaves play, right?
As long as the cost the cost is something leaving play.
Oh yeah, I did forget that part.
However, like, if a unit leaving play this phase, okay, you can go with a yellow cunning, which has waylay, it has bouncing cards.
Yeah,
a unit has left play.
And usually you play something and someone knocks something out, so it will be relevant most rounds.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is you ramp to get to 7 earlier.
Sure, yeah.
So
the other thing I like about this is that it's not reliant on. It's got Force, Jedi, the Republic, of course, but it's not reliant on Republic. So it's this has potential to be around for a few sets and to be relevant for a few sets as well, which I quite like, because some of the like the Separatist stuff and exploit and stuff, we won't see exploit in the next set. We won't see coordinate in the next set. So they're very much for this set, whereas Maul, Jango Fett, there's the ones that have the longevity. They're the ones I'm really, really interested in, because then you can build on them over sets. And so I like that Yoda has the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coolio.
Awesome. Cool. Adam, what's your favorite?
So, I of course went with someone that's going to get played. No, I'm kidding. No, but we all know that in Star Wars Unlimited, the best heroes right now are the ones that drops on turn 5 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of got interested in Quinlan Voss, because he comes out at turn 5.
He's a cunning heroic.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. The only problem I think with him is that he competes with Han 1, that also comes out on 5, if you want to. So he's in that spot, but he has an ability at least, is when you play a unit, you may exhaust this leader if you do deal 1 damage to an enemy unit that costs the same as the played unit. So that ability is okay. It's a pretty solid ability. He comes out at 5, and it's a 3/7, so he's almost Boba, but not quite.
Yeah. But Boba at 4/7 was OP.
Yeah. People say that. I think it's okay. No, I can. And then on his flip side, it's when you play a unit, you may deal 1 damage to an enemy unit that costs the same or less than the played unit. So then he adds the or less, and it's for every unit you play, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty
so
good.
You want to keep him.
Yes, but also he's Force and Jedi. So this is the Force and Jedi that leader that comes out early, right? So now, if you want to play the Force package, you can go either to blue or red. Like if you want to go with the Force throws and stuff.
So we did get a new green lightsaber, didn't we?
Did we? Or green, like Ayla Secura and like with the ECL. Like he opens up a lot. Like I think he has a lot of potential because of the Force Jedi traits. And like just being like a good body, like good cost, like the stats, like he's pretty generic. I know people will not think that this is a fun one, but I think he has a high potential of being like a staple leader.
I mean, the one damage you can pop shields.
You can pop shields, and you can like start nagging down like the aggros, like a Bosk does. So
and Cabane.
Yeah. So like, and he comes out at 5 as Boba to handle the aggro. So I think he could become like this mid-range beast for hero. And if you ramp with him, like you can come out as early as Boba and stuff like that. So I know he's not the most character from Star Wars that everyone loved. Like this could have been Obi-Wan instead for me. Like those headlines, why is this not Obi-Wan? But like, I think he's going to be good.
That's cool.
And like, that is my pick. If you want to, like a safe bet, because he's a 5 cost and 5 cost works.
I just looked up the green lightsaber, and it says if attached unit is a Jedi, it gains on attack the next unit you play this phase cost 2 less.
Whoa. Yep.
So that's pretty synergetic, right? Because
that's really good.
Then you can ping something that's expensive.
Yeah.
So you deploy
Jedi
lightsaber.
I mean, so again, like yellow going with command with green, it's a hand one.
Yeah, and like if you put lightsaber on him as well, like he's on turn 5, so you can't get rivals falls that turn. So you can actually guarantee to at least get the swing and get the discount for 1 turn, which is like makes the lightsaber worth even if you get rivals falls next turn, right? You get value back. I think that sounds pretty interesting. Of course, there's going to be like tons of new stuff, so we don't really know what's going to be good like yet. It could be tons of combos, but I think he has like, for me who loves playing mid-range, I think that is very interesting, at least for me.
Great. Well, all the other ones are really, really interesting as well, of course. But we could talk about that. But I think we'll focus more on spoilers and Twilights
after we're done with our tournament season, right?
Yeah.
I guess you already are, but your local play.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was not that. It was like you can't go to Copenhagen.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I know. It just came across as like a proper burn. Just like yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
have
cool,
kids.
it's
yeah,
cool,
that's why.
yeah. I'm absolutely fine. It's cool.
I can diss you, but that wasn't meant to be a diss. It's just you're
Whoa,
not coming to
I don't
Copenhagen.
want to know what that is now. Cool. Oh, let's. I mean, we've been. Let's call that a night for tonight then. Good luck, both of you, for Copenhagen. In getting your tickets for your day one pass.
No.
If you get a chance to go to America, of course, next year.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Huge, which is
Might
huge.
interfere with my honeymoon. That's gonna be rough.
Maybe that's the honeymoon
in America.
is gonna be in Michigan or whatever.
Yeah, we're not going to see churches in Italy. We are going to. Wait, what is it, like Texas or where is it? Like,
Minnesota, isn't it?
Minnesota,
Yeah.
Not Texas, Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a hard sell, but I will try. If that is,
You have to at least try it. You have
Yeah.
to try. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah. Good luck for the weekend, and next week I think we will know. Everyone knows that the episode is going to be about the PQ, what happened, the meta, etc., etc., and then we'll go on with our spoilers. That's for the next month, ready for the release of Twilight in the beginning of November. Which I'm currently going to be missing the pre-release as well, which I am gutted. So yeah, I'm going to the UK. I have to see if I can find one there.
there should be one there.
Yeah, there has to be. There has to be one there. Depends if we're in the right place. But we're not there for long, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll have to beg for a pre-release kit from somewhere, just to get that taste of this.
Opening packs.
Yeah. Oh, I miss opening packs. Anyway, thank you
I've
both.
already pre-ordered 5 boxes for next set, so.
Wow.
I need to.
I haven't gone that crazy, but I'll end up going that crazy by the end of it. Cool. Jonah, Adam, thank you both so much for tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you, listener, for listening. Hopefully this was the right episode, the right recording that we put up. If it is, hope you enjoyed it. If not, hope you enjoyed the last episode. And until next week, we say
Bye.
May the force be with you.
goodbye. See you later.